What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I'm your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, 31 Days of Horror, Volume 6, Day 11, coming at you live. And for today, we're going to do something a little bit newer. I got this one a little bit ago to review, and now's the perfect time to do it. So it's actually a film that came out in the film festivals in late 2019. Just got its physical media release recently in the last couple months. And it is a film hilariously titled Dead Dicks. Yes, Dead Dicks. So I pretty much had no idea going into this movie what the hell this thing was going to be about. I kind of figured by the title it was going to be a horror comedy, and that's kind of what it is. It's actually a film from Canada. So, yeah, man, again, and I was kind of reading the quotes on the front here, and I was like, yeah, this should be an interesting film. So, so basically what we have here, we have our main character, Richie. He's a little messed up, he deals with depression. He's like a manic depressant, and, he's very, very suicidal and stuff like that. So ultimately one day he decides to kill himself. But the crazy thing is that he wakes up only to find a version of his dead body of himself dead over there. So he's like super confused. He's like, I just killed myself. Why am I looking at my dead body? So then he tries it again. He kills himself only to wake up again. And now there's two dead bodies. And this kind of repeats itself a few times. In steps his sister. He had actually given his sister a bunch of calls, saying that he was very suicidal and stuff, and she was kind of late getting there. And so she ends up at the apartment and stuff, and then they kind of realize what is going on, and things get a little bit more complicated when their neighbor gets involved and other people actually start to die in the house and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'll just leave the synopsis right there. So my thoughts on this one. This has got a really cool, interesting idea, man. It's definitely full of social commentary. It's very relevant to today's world. So many people deal with so many mental problems and stuff, with depression and things like that, just being introverted, and it's just the way of the world, and things like that. So it really kind of touches on a lot of that stuff, suicide and depression and being introverted and family issues and stuff like that. It's kind of cool because Richie is, he's an artist and stuff, and it kind of plays off that too. I think that's kind of interesting in the narrative and stuff. But, a very small film. It's a very, very small film. It's low budget. It only has like 3 actors in it. It's all shot in like Richie's apartment and stuff, so it's kind of one location and stuff. And yes, it is a horror comedy, but like I said, it deals with a lot of real type issues. It's not as goofy as you may think it is, actually, because, you'll kill yourself only to find yourself looking at your a copy of your dead body, kind of thing and stuff. You think that idea it could get really goofy. It actually doesn't really get that goofy. It gets kind of like, it's very dark. It's a very dark comedy is essentially what it is and stuff. But I enjoyed the idea of this movie. I thought the acting was really solid. I thought there was a lot of things that were going on with the characters that was quite interesting and stuff. Obviously, the brother and sister have a very close relationship, but it's a very complicated relationship because with the past with their father and stuff and their relationship. And so it does go into that quite a bit. And it almost kind of plays off like a dark comedic drama in a sense. I do really like the core narrative of why, or like how he's being reborn and stuff. Like, I don't want to fully give it away, but there's something on the wall that kind of looks like something, and it's kind of, essentially almost rebirthing him and stuff. So it's kind of a cool premise and things. The movie plays out. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It runs about 80 minutes, things like that. But I think the biggest problem is with this movie is that it doesn't know how it wants to end itself. It's got this really cool premise, and I just feel like the whole third act, it just kind of muddles itself around, and it slowly kind of ends itself. And I think it's a little bit, it's just not a great payoff in the movie. I think it really does kind of hurt it and things. I kept thinking to myself the whole time I'm watching this too, I'm like, how are they going to end this thing? Like, where is this actually going to go? Like, I hope the payoff is worth it, kind of thing. It's not horrible, but it's not that exciting, to be honest. It was a little anticlimactic, to be honest, which is kind of depressing. But, all in all, I really enjoyed the movie, man. It's just, it's really strange to watch this type of movie with this core narrative because you can see the social commentary just screaming at you, right? And it's very dark in its approach. So you're kind of like laughing and crying at the same time, not literally crying, but you're kind of scratching your head because it's got this really strange, rebirthing thing going on and stuff, but which is a huge metaphor for a lot of things. I don't want to give everything away about the film because I do recommend this film. I just think maybe and hopefully you might get a little bit more out of the ending that I did because, for me it was a little bit anticlimactic a little bit because it just wasn't a strong payoff. But all in all, solid film. Acting was good. The music was good and stuff. The characters were fun. There was one moment of some really, really bad CG in this that was actually so laughable. I bursted out laughing. It was hilarious. Like, most of the effects and stuff are pretty practical, but there's this one moment where you're just like, what the fuck was that, man? I was like, holy shit, I've seen better CG in 1996. I don't know if it was meant to look as goofy as it did, because if it was meant to look goofy, it's even more off-putting because, again, this movie is a little bit goofy, but it's still dark and very smart at the same time. So I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. It was just kind of strange. But all in all, I'm going to come in about a 6.5 out of 10. It's a solid watch. I don't think it's phenomenal or anything, but it's got some really good ideas, and it's got some interesting ideas and dialogue and stuff in this. So, but yeah, that is Dead Dicks. Definitely check it out. I could see people passing on this one. Like my homeboy JP, he would probably see the title of this and be like, I ain't watching that movie. That looks fucking stupid because it's called Dead Dicks, right? But never judge your books by a cover. It's not actually as ridiculous as you may think it is. But yeah, so from Artsploitation Films, pretty cool stuff. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10. I loosely recommend it. Not loosely, I recommend you watch it. It's actually pretty decent. So, but that is going to do it here for day 11, 31 Days of Horror Volume 6. Check you guys tomorrow. Deuces.